Imagine waking up tomorrow and discovering that the money in your pocket isn't as powerful as it was yesterday. Not because it disappeared, but because someone somewhere decided they don't trust it anymore. Gold isn't just a metal. It's power. It's trust. It's money that doesn't need a signature to be accepted. Right now, as you watch this video, something incredible is happening. China is quietly buying massive amounts of gold. Not just a little bit, mountains of it. And here's the scary part. They're not doing it because they like shiny things. They're doing it to change who controls the world's money. For 70 years, America's dollar has been the king of money. But that crown might be slipping. And if you don't understand what's happening, you could wake up one day in a completely different world. This is the story of gold, power, and the biggest financial chess game ever played. Let's dive in. To understand what China is doing, we need to go back in time. Imagine you're in school. And in this school, there's one kid who everyone trusts. Let's call him Dollar Dan. Whenever kids want to trade snacks, toys, or lunch money, they use Dan's special tickets. Why? Because everyone agrees Dan's tickets are worth something. That's basically what happened to America after World War II. The world was broken. Countries needed to rebuild. And everyone agreed, let's use the American dollar as our global money. So if you were Japan and wanted to buy oil from Saudi Arabia, you didn't use Japanese yen. You used dollars. If France wanted to buy machines from Germany, they used dollars. The dollar became the world's favorite money. This gave America incredible power. Think about it like this. If everyone needs your money to do business, you can print more of it, and people will still accept it. You can borrow tons of money because everyone wants to lend to you. You can even punish countries by cutting off their access to dollars. For decades, this system worked beautifully for America. But here's the thing about power. It makes enemies. And some countries started asking themselves a dangerous question. What if we didn't need America's permission to do business? Enter China. Let me tell you something fascinating about China. They don't rush. They plan. They watch. They wait. And then they move. For years, China played by America's rules. They bought American dollars. They even loaned America trillions of dollars by buying something called treasury bonds. But quietly, behind the scenes, China was thinking, this system isn't fair. America controls everything. They can freeze our money. They can sanction us. They can tell us what to do. We need an escape plan, and that escape plan had a name: gold. Here's why gold is brilliant. You can't print gold. Unlike paper money, you can't just make more of it whenever you want. There's only so much gold in the world, and that's it. You can't freeze gold. If America gets angry at you and tries to punish you by blocking your dollars, they can't do that with gold sitting in your vault. You can't control gold. It doesn't belong to any country. It belongs to whoever holds it. So China started buying, and buying, and buying more. According to experts, China's central bank has been purchasing gold every single month since 2022. We're talking about hundreds of tons of gold. One economist named Torsten Slok, who works for a massive company called Apollo Global Management, recently said something chilling. He said at the rate China is going, central banks around the world will soon hold more gold than US dollars. Read that again. More gold than dollars. That's not just interesting. That's world-changing. Now, China isn't stupid. They know they can't just replace the dollar overnight. So they're building what I call a golden fortress. It has 3 walls. Wall number 1. Buy tons of gold. Right now, China officially says they have over 2,200 tons of gold. But here's the secret. Most experts think they have way more than that. They just don't tell anyone. Why? Because if the world knew exactly how much gold China had, it would cause panic. Wall number 2. Make their own money more important. China's money is called the yuan. For years, nobody really cared about the yuan. But now, China is making deals with other countries to trade using yuan instead of dollars. They're building their own payment systems that don't need American permission. Wall number 3, connect gold and the yuan together. This is the genius move. If China can convince the world that their yuan is backed by real gold, not just promises, people will trust it more. They'll start using it more, and they'll need dollars less. It's like building a new school where kids don't need dollar dance tickets anymore. They can use gold coins instead. And here's something mind-blowing. Chinese families, regular everyday people, are buying gold too. Not just the government. In September alone, Chinese people withdrew 118 tons of gold from the Shanghai Gold Exchange. That's not a typo. 118 tons in 1 month. Why are they doing this? Because they're scared. Scared of the trade war with America. Scared their own money might lose value. Scared of what's coming next. When millions of people all buy the same thing at once, prices explode. And boy, did prices explode. In January 2025, gold was around $2,600 per ounce. By October, it shot past $4,300 per ounce. That's a 55% increase in less than a year. To put that in perspective, if you had invested $10,000 in gold at the beginning of the year, you'd have $15,500 by October. Better than stocks. Better than Bitcoin. Better than almost anything. One famous investor named Ed Yardeni thinks gold will hit $5,000 by 2026, and maybe $10,000 by 2028. Even Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JP Morgan, one of the biggest banks in the world, admitted something shocking. For years, he didn't like gold. He thought it was useless. But recently, he said, "This is one of the few times in my life it's semi-rational to have some in your portfolio." When someone like Jamie Dimon starts taking gold seriously, you know something big is happening. But here's where it gets really intense. On one day in October, gold prices suddenly crashed. They fell more than 5% in a single day. Gold mining company stocks dropped by almost 10%. Why? Because big investors got scared. They thought maybe this is too high, too fast. Let's sell and take our profits. But even after that crash, gold was still above $4,100 per ounce, still way higher than the beginning of the year. The message was clear. Gold isn't going away. This isn't a bubble. Something fundamental is changing. Now you might be thinking, okay, interesting story. But why should I care? I don't own gold. I'm not China. Here's why this matters to you. If the dollar loses its power, everything changes. Remember how I said America can borrow tons of money because everyone wants dollars? If that stops, America can't borrow as easily. That means the government might have to cut spending or raise taxes. If other countries stop using dollars for trade, there will be fewer people who need dollars. When fewer people need something, its value drops. That means your dollars might not buy as much as they used to. If global trade starts happening in yuan or gold instead of dollars, prices in American stores could change. Things might get more expensive. Your savings, your job, your future, they're all connected to which money the world trusts. Think of it like musical chairs. For 70 years, the dollar has been sitting in the best chair. Now China is building their own chair and inviting others to sit there instead. And here's the most important part. This isn't happening tomorrow. It's happening slowly, piece by piece, month by month, year by year. But it is happening. Some experts think we're moving toward a world with multiple money kings, not just one. A world where the dollar, the yuan, the euro, and gold all compete. Other experts think China wants to completely replace the dollar. Not today, not in 5 years, but maybe in 20 or 30 years. One legendary investor named Ray Dalio, who runs a huge company called Bridgewater, said recently that people should put 15% of their money into gold. That's a lot, and it shows how seriously smart people are taking this. So where does this leave us? China is playing a long, patient game. They're collecting gold like a squirrel collects nuts for winter. They're promoting their yuan. They're building alternative systems. They're preparing for a future where America doesn't control everything. America isn't sitting still either. They know what's happening, and they have their own moves to make. This is the biggest financial chess game in history, and we're all living through it. Here's what you should watch for. Watch gold prices. If they keep climbing, it means fear is growing and trust in regular money is shrinking. Watch news about China buying gold. If they suddenly stop, something major has changed. Watch which countries start making trade deals in yuan instead of dollars. Each deal is another crack in the dollar's armor. Watch American policy toward China. Tariffs, sanctions, trade wars, they all push China to move faster. The world of money is changing, not with explosions or dramatic announcements, but quietly, steadily, inevitably. And the question isn't whether it will change. The question is, will you be ready when it does? Remember, gold isn't just a metal. It's power. It's trust. It's money that doesn't need anyone's permission. China understands this. The question is, do you? If this made you think differently about money and survival, subscribe for more deep dives into the systems that run our world and what happens when they break. See you in the next one.